Beyond the Bounce presented by ZTE. I'm your host, Byron Bogar, and joining me today, long retired 10-year vet, Mr. Charlie Bell. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great, man. Just great to be here in Texas, here in Dallas, man. Great organization. Just happy to be here.
All right, you're joining us the first year this year under the NBA Coaching Apprenticeship here with the Legends. Can you fill us in on how you got involved in that process and that program with the league?
I think throughout my years, I've always been involved, with the NBPA and also the NBA as far as different programs that they put on in the summertime as well as during the season. And through my contacts and just keeping in, connection with like certain people, I did like the coaching program this summer with the NBA and also did an apprenticeship, with the NBA for 3 months in New York at the league office, just kind of, just seeing how everything is, works behind the scenes. And, when this opportunity came up, doing the assistant coaches program, they offered me this position, a chance because I wanted to get into coaching. I want to help guys get better. I love the game of basketball, and I've been playing it all my life, so I know, quite a bit about the game of basketball. So I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to, get my foot into the coaching door.
Now, fans know you for playing, like I said, over 10 years in the NBA. Is there a certain time that you knew that you wanted to coach? Or was it a certain matchup where you just, this young cat, I may want to coach him rather than play against him?
I think as you get older in your career and, these younger guys coming to the league, I think Brandon Jennings was a rookie, one of my, later years, in my career, and they start coming to me, as a veteran, asking me different advice. And, when I'm sitting on the bench and those guys are starting to get more of the minutes and I'm not getting many of the minutes, you start to see things that they're doing that you can help them with. And then I got traded out to Golden State, and I was with a young Steph Curry, and I get a chance to talk to him about, certain things that he was doing on the court. One thing I used to always talk to him about, is his turnovers. He has a lot of careless turnovers, which he does, and that's something
he overshadows him now these days.
Right. He has his game is gotten so much better, man. But just seeing those young guys and getting a chance to help them, I was like, this is something that I can really see myself doing after my playing days is over with.
Now, you played for multiple teams. You were briefly here with the Dallas Mavericks throughout your long career.
Yeah.
I won't call you a journeyman, all right? But what experience can you take from playing and not necessarily being the Steph Curry, the MVP players? What kind of experience can you take and give that to these younger players today, especially in the D-League?
Especially here in the D-League, I think a lot of these guys, have a dream to play in the NBA. And, I went undrafted. I played with Phoenix. I played here in Dallas for a second, and things didn't work out. Just like some of these guys here in the D League, they might have had their cup of tea in the league, and they're in the D League because they want to get better and they want to make it back to the NBA. And it's something that I can kind of sympathize with them, and I think they listen to me because I went that same route. I didn't get drafted. I played a little bit, but then I went overseas and did what I had to do. And, I came back to Milwaukee for a mini camp and played well. And one thing they said was, Charlie, one thing we like about you is that, we followed you through, your college career, your brief pro career. We followed you overseas. And it's like, one thing about you is that you've always gotten better. And we like that about you. And we want to offer you a contract. And, I got there. And like I tell these guys, even when you get your chance, you got to continue to put the time in, put the effort in, because, Terry Stotts was my coach in Milwaukee, and who's doing a great job and a phenomenal job in Portland. He said, Charlie, I don't know much about you. I know you scored a lot of points in Europe, but, here with the Bucks, I want you to be a good practice player for us. And, I was like, all right, cool. But at the same time, I was back at the gym every night, calling up one of the assistant coaches, like, hey, meet me at the gym at 7, meet me at 8, getting that work in. And next thing you know, all the guards pretty much got hurt. Mo Williams, TJ Ford, Mike Red all kind of went down at the same time. And, it was my time to step up. And if I wasn't putting that work in the gym and that little bit of extra, I wouldn't have been ready and I wouldn't have been able to take, advantage of the opportunity. So, the one thing with these D-League guys is I want to teach them, always, get better, but at the same time, once you make it, you haven't made it. You got to keep working to get better if you want to get, stay in that NBA for a long time. Now,
Legends are starting up training camp this week. What can we expect out of the Legend squad this year?
Especially with Coach Mack, I think, a lot of offense. I think, Coach Mack wants to play, at a fast pace. I think in the D League, in general, there's a lot of fast pace. And I think for us, we want to see everybody on this team get a call up, at some point, and we want to see all these guys move on to bigger and better things. I don't think nobody wants to be, a D-League All-Star year in and year out. We're here to get better. Yeah, to get better, to develop and get better. And I think that's one thing, I can see this team, early in the season, we only had a couple workouts, but, these guys come to work, every day. And I think if they continue to do that, it's going to be a great season for us. We got some veteran guys, we got some young guys, but, I look forward to the season, and I look forward to a lot of wins and, a lot of offense, a lot of scoring. We're going to get into guys on the defensive end, and, we're going to try to push the pace.
Now, with all this money flying around in the NBA, all right, is there any thought process in the back of Charlie Bell's mind that says, hey, let me strap him up one more time, see what I can do?
You know what? After seeing them contracts, I think you see a lot of guys, man. I think you see, Derek Fisher posting in the gym, Steven Jackson talking about comeback trade. All these guys, like, man, you see all that money, it's like, man, I can get in there. I'm better than some of these guys. And, there's a couple guys I done seen got contracts. I know that my out of shape self is better than them, but at the same time, once I kind of get out there, the other day we was doing workouts and I was just reaching in and I almost threw my back out, and I was like, I know if we got out there and, in a full court situation. And
the brain was doing a little bit more than what the body was going to allow you to do.
Yeah, my body really can't hold up like that anymore. So, sometimes you got to know when to throw your hand in and, start early at this coaching career. Hopefully in a couple of years, I can be in a position like T. Lou, winning the championship.
Well, we wish that for you. Now the NBA, it's an 82-game season. D-League is a 50-game season, but you still have to take care of your body. What advice or what edge did you feel that gave you by taking care of your body day in, day out, in season and off season? How does that help prolong a career?
I think, it helps a lot. I think there's a lot of guys, who were pretty hard on their bodies. And they might have been great players, but they weren't able to, wasn't able to last long in the league because they didn't take care of their body. And then there's guys like, there's a guy like Ray Allen, somebody who, he's like the epitome of taking care of your body. And I mean, he played till, he was almost 40 years old at a high level, can jump out the gym and do all the things he did just because he took care of his body. And that's key, especially I think here in the D-League, NBA, wherever you're playing at, with the travel schedule, there's a lot of travel involved. There's a lot of games in a short amount of time. If you want to extend your career and try to make this thing last as long as you can, because I'm only 37. I still, like, if I would have took care of my body just a little bit better, if I would have did this a little bit better, I could have played a lot longer, but, I didn't. But at the same time, these guys are still young, and you want to get to them early because you want to see them have long and productive careers.
You don't look a day over 30, Coach. Just letting you know.
Hey, look, man, that's what a lot of people say, man, but I don't feel it sometimes, man. But, every now and then, they got the, the Just for Men, I dye my hair, jet black sometimes just to kind of keep it going, man. I want to look young still, man. You got to exfoliate. You got to do all those types of things, man. You got to, hang with these young guys, man, and try to stay young as long as I can.
Okay, just don't let the coaches see you with your mask on, Coach.
I won't.
Or players or coaches.
I won't let nobody know.
All right, let's have a little fun, Coach. Now, you mentioned Ray Allen. He just wrote a letter to his younger self, giving him some knowledge about how he doesn't take anything for granted. You being a coach, this is your first year here with the Legends. What would the scouting report, Coach Bell's scouting report, look for player Charlie Bell?
A great all-around player. I wouldn't say great all-around player, just to be honest. I like to think I was great, but at the same time, I think I was a good all-around player. I don't think there was one thing that, stood out about my game. I can, shot the ball pretty well. I handled the ball pretty well. My assist to turnover ratio was always pretty good. And with the Milwaukee Bucks, I was always our best defender. And I think that was probably one of, the best, keys to my game was being able to go out there and defend multiple positions. I guarded Kobe's, I guarded the LeBrons, I guarded Kevin Durant, I guarded all those guys. And, I like to think I did a pretty good job. I think, when those guys see me, and even when I see these guys, nowadays, they come to me and say, man, you were probably one of the better defenders that I had to play against. And that means a lot to me, man. And, that's one thing I took a lot of pride in, is going out there and, looking at that other team's best player and trying to shut them down. But, that's my game. It's just defense and just being a great teammate. I think that was one big thing about me is, okay, what does this team need? They need me to defend, I'm going to defend. If they need me to score, I'm going to try to score. They need me to get the ball to the score, that's what I'm going to do. So one thing about me is just being a great teammate.
And you hit it. I think, in my opinion, that's why you were able to have a double-digit career, embracing your role. What's the importance of a D-League player trying to make it, get that call up, embracing their role and not trying to step outside of what they do best?
I think it's hard, for some of these guys. Some of these times, if you're averaging 25, 30 points in the D-League, you think you can go to the NBA and do the same. But, that's not the case. There's a reason you're in the D-League, and there's a reason.
For now.
But at the same time, when you get to that next level, you got to push those guys in practice. I think, sometimes, that can be key, as far as having a prolonged career, even if you're not playing much, as long as that you come to practice every day and you bring it. Those veteran guys, they can have those days because maybe they're playing a lot of minutes in games. They can have those days where they don't have it in practice. You can't. You got to come in there every day in practice ready to work, with your lunch pail, with your hard hat on, and you got to bring it. Because sometimes when you bring it in practice, you can make those guys who play in the games better. And that's what coaches want sometimes. Sometimes that's your role, is to be just a great, practice player for us. And then when that time comes, you get in the game, find out what you got to do in order to stay on the floor. If you got to defend. If you got to, set screens, whatever it is, you find your niche on that team and try to take advantage of it.
Now, you being a proud Michigan State alum, we have a Wolverine on the roster, Coach. Have there been any budding rivals between you and Mr. Manny Harris yet?
Well, not yet. I think I can't really talk right now because our football team is having a bad year right now. And they just beat us on the football field. But I'm looking forward to the basketball season, and then he's gonna hear a lot from me then. And because I think our team is looking pretty good, and I think over the last 20 years, Michigan State has kind of been the upper echelon of basketball in the state of Michigan. And Michigan, they had a couple good years. I give him that, but at the same time, as far as overall, Manny really can't talk to me right now because I won a couple more championships than him. So it's kind of like hey, when you've done what I've done, then you can talk to me.
Okay.
Right now, he really can't. He has really not much to say.
All right,
yeah,
he's going to see this, by the way,
That's
too,
cool.
Coach.
You can see it. Don't talk to me.
Coach, before we go, why don't you tell the fans what we can expect out of you and what you're going to bring to the table this season for the Legends?
This being my first, season as a coach here, I'm just going to help these guys get better. You're probably going to see me on the sideline, yelling at guys, in guys' ears because, there's certain things that I see because I want to see these guys get better. I want to see these guys make it to the next level, and I want to win. That's one thing about me, man. I think at Michigan State, 4 Big Ten championships, 3 Final Fours, national championship. I just had to throw that in there.
Yeah, don't leave that out, Coach. Don't leave your accomplishments out.
Championship in Italy.
Let them young bucks know.
Yeah, I got to let them know, man. One thing about me is that, I know how to win. And I know winning basketball, and I just want to kind of instill that in them. And I hope the fans have a lot of fun, watching us play and enjoy the game. And just hopefully that we can go out there and win a lot of games, as many games as possible.
Coach, thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule.
Not a problem.
And thank you for tuning in to Beyond the Bounce, presented by ZTE. Until next time, we'll see you later.